Yeah, but we got one interesting issue that I'm excited about and nervous about. So these 2x4s were used in the construction of Stevenson Hall. That's already going to sound good. And they were 2x4s, so they had nails and screws put into them. If you saw this, I don't know if I can put up a still from the last video here when I showed it just as is before it was put all together, but there are no screw holes in the back, and there were no screw holes or damage in the front. But apparently, partially through one of these sides, there were a couple of nails because they've shown up here. You can see those holes. And so what I'm actually going to do, I talked to Connie and Zach about the design of this instrument and about what their needs were and wants were for it, because I like those holes. I don't like them being holes, but I like them being there because they show the history and tell a little bit of the story of what these used to be. And Connie made this great comment that none of us are perfect, and maybe those holes showed up, they were hiding there to be seen. And I like that idea. So what I'm going to do, and I can show you these holes, grab some here. This is like a little dental cleaning pick here. That hole right there specifically goes in a little ways, right? And it's not going to be a lot, but it's going to be enough. The other one is more shallow, but it still goes in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to make a very tiny dowel, like a round piece of spruce, to actually put in that hole and fill that hole, so that when I sand this, scrape it, finish it, you'll still see it because there's no way to avoid it, but it'll be smooth and clean and intentional, not a jagged hole. It should not affect the sound of this, by the way. It'll be solid on solid, sound to transmit and vibrate. There's plenty of other flaws in woods to have other issues. But yeah, so now I gotta do that. Yeah, the other option was to start over and remake this, which is an option, but we're gonna do this first and make sure we like the way it looks and functions. So yeah, that's where we are with the top and the back right now, but onward we go.
All right, let's talk about these holes in the top of the Viola. Now, they were screw holes or nail holes. If they were nail holes, they were jagged. I think they were like small screws. I don't know for sure, but, well, 99% sure they're screws. Anyways, I had to widen out the holes a little bit to get them round and to get rid of the threads, right, that were tearing into the wood. So make them a little round, but I need to make a plug that fits in that slot. It's also at a very extreme angle. So getting a drill bit in there is very difficult. So I do it by hand with a hand drill. Not like a power drill, but like a hand drill. But how do I make a plug for that is kind of an interesting little tidbit. So I thought I'd share this instead of just working on it. It starts out as making a blank. This is the same spruce that the top is made out of. It's a little over 1/8 of an inch by 1/8 of an inch square. You then take the corners off of that, either by sanding it or a hand plane or anything else. And then I sharpen the point of it. And then what I'm going to do is I've drilled a hole in a scrap sheet of steel, the same size that I need. And now I'm going to use a drill to feed that through the hole, and it'll act as a scraper to actually cut the edge of the wood grain off. It should come out the same size as the hole. And there we go. It's getting clogged up, so I'm just going to take this fiber off. The tough part is not breaking it on small ones like this. Especially with spruce, it wants to splinter so easily. All right, so that should be enough for my 2 holes. If I need extra, I will make extra, but I want to make sure I got the right amount. So I'll cut these to place and stick them in those holes.